and welcome to our Google AdWords Fundamental Certification Exam Prep, kind of a study guide you can think of it. In this video, we'll be going through Module 1 of the course, and this video is brought to you by Dolead. Please click below to learn about more of what we do and maybe even read our blog. So we're going to start at the beginning with the question, what is AdWords? So when you search for a product, let's say a digital camera, Google is going to display something that looks along the lines of this. It will display what it found to be the most relevant answers to your question. On the top and to the right, the results will have a yellow background or say sponsored. These are the paid ad results, and it's really mainly what we're going to be dealing with AdWords, really SEM, search engine marketing. Below those, you'll find the organic results, meaning the websites that Google thinks will help you the most and for which nobody paid to be positioned there. If you want to deal with that, that's more about search engine optimization. It's not what AdWords deals with. Remember, however, that SEO is extremely important, and so really to think about that in addition to your SEM. Now let's see the various ways in which AdWords can help your marketing team. The first is targeting. It used to be the case that advertising meant sending a huge message out to a large group of people, hoping to find someone who's interested. With AdWords, on the other hand, you're able to narrow it down to that one person who is actually interested in your message. The first tool this is done with are keywords. We're going to pause here for a second. Keywords are going to be spoken about a lot and in depth in future videos. For now, all you need to know is that the ads that are shown to you through Google are based on the connection between keywords advertisers associate with their products and those that describe what you're looking for. Secondly, audience are targeted by location. AdWords, in fact, allows you to choose exactly the location where you want your customers to be or be from. You can also target your audience based on the time, whether it be of year, month, week, or day, where your ads will be most effective. Finally, you can target your groups of people through specific devices. For example, if you have customers that you know are mobile only, or maybe even desktop only. Although these are very basic ways of targeting, there are many more detailed and specific methods that AdWords offers to find your ideal demographic, thus making each dollar you spend towards advertising count even more. Now, another benefit of AdWords is that it limits your costs significantly. This is possible through the various bidding strategies offered to you when creating your campaign. However, you do have to have a certain goal or important metric in mind when choosing your bidding strategy. You may be interested in increasing clicks, in which case you'd probably use cost per click. However, you may only be interested in impressions and creating brand awareness, in which you want your ranking to be really high. You might use CPM. Maybe you want a really optimal return on ad spend, in which case you might choose a very specific keywords and an audience parameters. On the other hand, if you're only interested in conversions, you'll want to pay through cost per acquisition. However, all these strategies aren't separate. There are many variations and specifics that you can choose within each of these that we will look into further on. Now, another great advantage of Google AdWords is that it allows you to measure the performance of your ads through various programs. Now, the first, for example, is a search terms report. The search terms report allows you to show the specific searches that led someone to clicking on your link. You can therefore adjust your keywords according to what these people are actually typing to find your ad. Then we have the auction insights report. It allows you to compare your results with those of other advertisers within the same auction. Lastly, there's the top movers report. It shows which ad groups and campaigns of yours are moving up or down, thus allowing you to use your budget with more effectiveness. Now, aside from these measurements, there are other programs you can and should use to collect data, such as Google Analytics, or even the analytics of your social media pages, for example, Facebook and Twitter. Lastly, AdWords helps you manage your campaigns through various networks. First, you have the My Client Center, or MCC. MCC is useful in that it can help you link together various AdWords campaigns and manage them all in one single login. This is usually useful for third-party agents, for example, agencies that want to run reports and assign different level of access to your employees. Then you also have the AdWords editor, used to make bulk changes to your account when you're offline by downloading the info and then uploading it again and activating the changes. In addition to these two, there's also AdWords API, which can allow you to build applications that interact with your AdWords account, and other various options. So these are the four main characteristics that differentiate AdWords from traditional methods of advertising. Now, let's look into the different networks which AdWords offers as a platform for your advertisements. In fact, depending on what your goal is and what kind of product you're selling or trying to convert, you'll want to use different placements and different kind of formats of your ads that target your specific customer the best. Now we have the search network and the display network. However, you don't have to choose between one or the other. There's also a combination that you can try. Now, the display network includes Google subgroups, such as your Gmail and YouTube accounts, along with millions and millions of sites associated with the Google Display Network, which allow for Google Ads to display. The search network, on the other hand, includes basically what is the results to a query in the Google search bar, and the ads chosen by Google as the results. As we saw in the beginning, these are paid ads as opposed to the organic results. And these are determined by a sort of auction. If you're interested in targeting mobile users, you'll be happy to know that the search network and the display network are both mobile friendly. Now, essential to the search network and also to the display network, but in a different degree, are keywords. Advertisers buy these keywords that they think will have the potential that customers will search for. So let's look at this in an example. If you're selling tents and you want to use a Google Display Network, you can associate your ads with keyword tent. This way, Google will place your ad in one of the Google Display Network websites that contextually matches or is related to your keyword. You can also manually choose a placement for a specific site for your ad if you have something in mind. For example, a good hiking trips blog that you know about and you want your users to buy your tents from. What's nice about the Google Display Network is that it offers various formats such as text, images, rich media, and video. You can find out which type of ad works best for you by testing various options and measuring the results. Now, in the search network, someone might Google the word tent. If you place a bid on that keyword, you're eligible to be part of the auction and show as a paid ad result. Depending on various factors, which we will see later, Google will decide what rank each advertiser will get. You can also be advertised on the right side of the page through Google Shopping or product lists. In the search network, however, you're only allowed to display text ads with appropriate extensions. These extensions can include call extensions, site link extensions, reviews, social extensions, and many more. And we'll look into that with more detail. The point is that with both networks, you're allowed to display your ads with different formats, which is what might work for you. You can also choose search with display select, and we'll look into that more as an option later on. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is basically the way that Google manages the auction and decides ranking. There's a simple formula that we can use to understand it. However, the complexity, of course, is much greater. Ad rank, meaning the placement you're giving as results, is equal to the maximum bid times quality score times ad extensions and formats. Now, this last part about ad extensions and formats is kind of new, but let's look at them one at a time now. So, maximum bid is the maximum amount you're willing to spend per click, or basically CPC. Again, this is a bidding strategy, and if you're choosing a different bidding strategy, Google will automatically convert it into CPC, basically as a base measurement to compare all advertisers. Now, quality score. Quality score is basically a number from 1 to 10 assigned to your ad, and it depends mostly on its relevance to the user search. That's a key thing Google is always looking for, relevance. It includes 3 main components. Relevance of the ads you're showing, and basically how their structure can help the users find the result to their question easily. Second is relevance of the keywords, measured by the click-through rate, or CTR, which is really the number of clicks over the number of impressions to measure if your users actually found the ad useful and clicked on it. Lastly, relevance includes the relevance of the landing page. Relevance of the landing page is determined by transparency, navigability, and basically the loading time of the page. So it's how easy people find their product once they're on your home page. And it's really important to get this down. Only a combination of the 3 can actually get you a good quality score, which is extremely important to having a good ranking. Now, lastly, we have the ad extensions and ad formats. There's a new component, as I mentioned before, and it basically involves the expected impact you have of your ads. Adding call extensions, social extensions, site link extensions, and call to actions can help increase your ad's appeal. This is generally how the auction works, which is good because it means that even having a high maximum bid is not enough to get a high ranking. Even if you're the person with the highest bid, if you have a bad quality score rank, you might actually rank lower than someone with a lower bid. All you need to pay in the end is 1 cent more than what it takes to beat the person below you. Obviously, having a high CPC can help if, for example, a competitor has the same quality score, but it's really a combination of the two that will get you on top, plus a combination of the ad extensions formats. And remember, you can always check out the auction insights report to see where to improve. Now, let's look into payment. As we mentioned earlier, there are various bidding strategies that you can use for your AdWords campaigns. Cost per click, or CPC, is designed for people who are interested in people clicking on their ads, and therefore you only pay when the person actually engages with the ad. You can set it up automatically, meaning that you set a daily budget and Google then determines how to set the keyword specific bids throughout the day, or manually, in which case you set the maximum CPC for each keyword along with other possible settings. CPM is cost per mil or cost per thousands of impressions, and is useful if you want to increase your brand awareness and want your product to be seen more. However, keep in mind that this bidding strategy is only available for the display network. Lastly, we have CPA, or cost per acquisition, and it's the amount you actually want to spend for each conversion. However, it isn't completely reliable because Google says that it cannot predict various variables that do not depend on the program. For CPA, though, you also must keep in mind that you have to have conversion tracking for at least a month previous using this strategy. Now, the budgets you choose will be daily budgets, meaning that you have the flexibility to change them every day, or you can calculate them using your monthly budget and dividing it by 30.4 as suggested by Google. Furthermore, you can choose to have your ads be accelerated, meaning to all show whenever it's clicked until your daily budget is spent. However, in this case, you might run into a problem that people click on them at non-optimal times, for example, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you finish your daily budget in the first hour of the day. However, the other option you have is the standard option, the standard format, in which Google will disperse your ads throughout the day. This way, there won't be a possibility that all your budget gets spent in the morning, and therefore Google chooses the times when you might have the most conversions and when the clicks will be the most valuable. That's all we really have for Module 1 out of the 3 AdWords Fundamentals modules for the certification exam, and thank you for watching.